Hi guys, and welcome back to Rise on the Road.
Last week we were near Lexington, Kentucky.
Let's see what we did there.
The drive to Georgetown, Kentucky was about 5 hours. Our campground was very nice with lots of grass for the bunny and space for the dogs. We got to choose our spot right next to the playground, basketball court, and bouncy houses. We met some great friends here. We were also next to a nice pond. There were beautiful sunrises here. Since there was a pond, there were also a lot of ducks and geese, and also a pair of these weird turkey-headed ducks the size of a goose. First day we went to the visitor center and saw these birds taking a bath. We went to the capital of Kentucky on a special day when the governor of Kentucky did an announcement about disaster relief in the dome room. There was a podium set up and an art fair. We took a public tour with the 5th grade class and saw the state reception room where there are 2 mirrors reflecting off each other, so it looked as if there were tons of mirrors inside the big mirror. We also went to the House of Representatives and the Supreme Court where the judges are elected every few years. Melina really liked these dolls that were of the different governors' wives in fancy outfits. Then we watched the governor give his announcement.
After the Capitol, we went to Fazoli's, which is Italian fast food local to Kentucky.
One day during the week, we went to the Kentucky Horse Park. Coincidentally, we were in Georgetown during the busiest weekend of the year because of the Land Rover Kentucky 3-day international event, which was being hosted at the Kentucky Horse Park. Usually there was an open horse park parking, but we were directed to the opposite side of the park to the event parking, so we had to walk quite a ways to get to the real park. When we got there, we went to the kids' barn and the mounted police barn, then headed to the breeds barn. There we met up with some friends and we saw a parade of breed show. We saw Appaloosas, 2 different draft horses, a pony, and a fjord pony. After that, we went to the big barn where most of the draft horses are kept. We saw 2 different horses getting their shoes and hair done. We also got to pet one. The last thing we did is go to the horse museum and gift shop. It was really cool seeing the horses. Later, we saw our full-time family friends Jaden and his mom Trish and his dad Walt. We hung out with them for the next few days.
On Friday, we went to the Creation Museum with Jaden and his parents. We walked across this floating bridge to get to the museum. The Creation Museum focuses mainly on creation and what happened early in the Bible. The first few exhibits were about how the Bible is backed up with facts. Then, we went through the 7 C's of God's plan exhibits. The 7 C's are creation, corruption, catastrophe, confusion, Christ, cross, and consummation. The first room was creation, which was really cool. I loved all the animals. We had to rush through the exhibits to go to a presentation about water and all the amazing things about it. This was actually pretty interesting and the people were very nice. Then, we went back to the exhibits to see Noah's Ark for the catastrophe. We finished up and went to a 4D movie about the 7 days of creation. Then, we went to a few side exhibits, one that was about dinosaurs and one that was about insects, before heading back to the RV.
The next day, Jaden, Trish, and Walt came to the Ark Encounter with us. The Ark and Creation Museum are sister museums. The Ark Encounter is a really big ark, which is like a boat, and the museum is inside. The ark is the same size as the Bible says Noah's Ark was. Noah made the ark in biblical times when God told Noah he was going to punish all the people on the ground, because they were really bad, by wiping them out with a global flood. He told Noah he could build an ark to save himself, his wife and Sarah, his sons, and their wives, because he was faithful to God. Right before the flood, God sent a pair of every kind of animal, male and female, to put on the ark to save them. After 47 days, the flood ended, and Noah and his family and all the animals on the ark came out, and the Lord said that the earth would never again be destroyed in a flood, and he put a rainbow in the clouds to show that. In the ark, we saw replicas of the things on the ark, as well as animals. It was really cool. After we looked at the exhibits, Mom, Dad, and Trish went to a presentation with Ken Ham, the founder of the Creation Museum and Ark. Us kids went to the Ark Zoo. There were porcupines, kangaroos, camels, zebras, donkeys, a mix of the two called zebroids, an ostrich, and llamas. They were making this funny sound. After that, we went to the carousel. It was an awesome museum. We loved seeing all the animals.
After the Ark, we went back to the Kentucky Horse Park for show jumping. We got there super early, so we saw the tractors smoothing down the dirt in the arena. We went to the Kentucky CS13 Invitational Grand Prix, and the reward was $230,000. The Kentucky 3-day weekend, which we happened to visit on, is the biggest horse event in the US, maybe even the world. Needless to say, these horses and equestrians are the best of the best from all over the earth. We originally sat in the wrong section, but we moved to better seats, so it was okay. While all the horses were beautiful, one stood out from the rest. That horse's name is Gemma W., ridden by Daniel Blumen. Gemma was ecstatic when she found out one of the horses had the same name as her. We held our breath while Gemma W. made her way through the 16-jump course. If you know me, you would know that I love horses, and I've always wanted to see a show jumping in person. I loved it more than I thought I would, and it's my new favorite sport to watch. Gemma went through the course clean without any faults. The JO under rank is what we think means judge's opinion. We had to leave before the show was over because it was getting late, but we googled it later and it turns out Gemma won first place and $230,000. On our way out, we saw the jumpers up close and the horses as they went to and from the arena. After the horse show, we went to Ramsey's with the Zenzak family. It was Mom's choice since it was her birthday. She wanted local dishes called a hot brown sandwich and a Mayday pie, aka Derby pie.
As Ashlyn said, we stayed at a really nice private park and the girls had a great time hanging out with other kids. We met some nice families in town from Michigan and Illinois for the 3-day event. My birthday dinner at Ramsey's was a fun excursion to taste some local food, but the company made it extra special. Surprisingly, the Grand Prix tickets were only $12 each, but the rest of the events all weekend were crazy expensive at the 3-day. You'll notice that the Creation Museum and Ark Encounter were super pricey. We bought a year-long membership and may spend another day there in July when we go through Ohio. Regardless, it was worth it. Just like David and my trip, Israel in 2019, it was so eye-opening and should have been higher on our bucket list.
We had a great time at the Ark and Creation Museum and loved seeing the horses.
See you next week on Eyes on the Road.
Bye!